Welcome to the deep dive, where we take your stack of information and turn it into something you can actually use.
Something memorable and actionable.
Exactly. And today, we're pushing past the usual suspects. We're not talking about the big Finnish market leaders that everyone knows.
Nope. We're going straight to Estonia to look at a brand called HUUM.
And we are really going to decode what makes these high-end sauna heaters so different.
And our mission for this deep dive is to give you that shortcut. We're going to break down their core design philosophy, which is really fascinating.
We'll get into the tech too, right? Electric and wood burning.
Both.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we're going to cover the critical maintenance. It's non-negotiable if you want that premium soft steam experience they promise.
And here's the hook to get you started. HUM isn't just making a heater, they're creating sculpture.
That's a great way to put it.
Their iconic D-Roppy heater, it's so unique, it actually won the prestigious Red Dot Product Design Award way back in 2015.
And that award really signals what they're doing. They're blending this ancient Baltic sauna tradition with minimalist modern design. It elevates the whole experience.
Yeah, the heater becomes a feature, not just, a utility box in the corner.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack that history, because when you say sauna, most people think Finland, right? Or maybe Sweden.
Sure. But Estonia, where HUUM is from, has this incredibly deep, centuries-long sauna history that's right up there with their Nordic neighbors.
And this isn't some new startup jumping on a trend.
Not at all. It's pure heritage. The founder, Sim Nellis, is a third-generation sauna stove producer.
Wow.
Yeah, his grandfather was a master stove setter. It's in the blood. He just took that family knowledge and decided to inject it with, modern engineering and this really high-end design.
And the name itself, Meltium, what's the story there?
It's perfect, actually. The Estonian word hum means something like flame or glow.
Okay.
But its root traces back to the Latin word humidium, which means steam or humidity. So the name itself literally means the hot steam rising from the stones. The loyally.
The loyally itself, yes.
So that brings us to the big idea, the aha moment that really separates them from the competition.
It is the defining principle. Their philosophy is that the heat should come almost entirely from the stones, not from glowing hot metal.
So less metal, more rock.
A lot more rock. They use a minimal metal frame, basically a beautiful basket, and then just maximize its capacity to hold stones. You're essentially turning the heater into a giant stone battery for thermal energy.
So that focus on stone mass is how they get what they call soft steam. Can you explain that for anyone who's felt that harsh blast of steam in a regular sauna?
It's about creating a massive, stable thermal reservoir. The big HIVE models can hold, get this, 595 pounds of stones.
Whoa.
So when you have that much hot mass, the heat is incredibly stable and lasts a long time. And when you throw water on it, it doesn't just flash into a harsh blast.
It's a slower, gentler vaporization.
Exactly. It feels more like an enveloping blanket of steam, not a shock to the system. Okay, but let's talk about the trade-off there. If I have nearly 600 pounds of cold rock, how long am I waiting for my sauna?
That is the necessary question, yeah. You are waiting longer.
How much longer?
For the big units, you could be looking at 60 to 90 minutes. A lighter heater might be ready in 30 or 45.
So it's a choice. Speed versus quality.
It is. The HUM experience is all about the quality and the longevity of the heat once you get there. It's sustained thermal luxury, not rapid utility.
That makes sense. Now, you mentioned something about air quality, and this is where the science gets really interesting.
It does. Because they minimize the exposed super hot metal, they reduce the amount of positive ions in the air, which can feel kind of harsh and dry.
Okay.
Instead, when water hits those hundreds of pounds of hot rocks, it generates beneficial negative ions. It's a phenomenon called the Lennard effect.
The waterfall effect, I've heard it called.
That's the one. They're often called the vitamins of the air.
So is it fair to say a traditional metal box heater is actually creating a sort of less healthy air environment?
In a way, yes. The HUM design maximizes that Lennard effect, giving you that gentle, ionized, almost curative steam quality that enthusiasts are really looking for.
So if the stones are the engine of the whole system, the type of stone you use must be critical.
Absolutely crucial. They specifically recommend rounded olivine diabase stones, about 2 to 4 inches in diameter.
And the rounded shape isn't just for looks.
No, it's a critical engineering requirement. The round shape promotes much better airflow through the heater basket. That's what stops the heating elements inside from overheating and failing early.
And speaking of heat, these things get hotter than a lot of the competition, can't they?
Yeah, that's a big differentiator. They're SGS certified to reach 230 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 110 Celsius.
Which is way higher than the typical cap of, what, 194?
Exactly. A lot of North American heaters are capped at 194 Fahrenheit due to different safety standards. That extra 36 degrees makes a huge difference for enthusiasts.
Why, though? What does that extra heat feel like?
It allows the heat to really penetrate, especially when you're sitting on the bench. It gives you that deep, intense thermal effect that you want instead of just feeling kind of warm.
Okay, let's walk through how they package this engineering. We can start with their most famous one,
The Icon, the D-Drop series.
the D-Drop E. The teardrop one. Wall-mounted, perfect for small to medium saunas.
Right, from about 106 to 530 cubic feet. But the sources point out a really important update that just happened.
So the 2025 models, right?
Yes, they now come with a pre-installed internal air tunnel, which is a great improvement, but it's also, kind of an admission that the earlier models had an issue.
So it's a fix. A corporate correction to a design flaw that was causing elements to fail.
Pretty much. This little tunnel improves airflow to the elements. It cuts the heat up time by about 25%, and more importantly, it doubles the expected lifespan of the elements.
Good to know. Okay, so if the D-Drop-E is the wall-mounted art piece, the HIVE is the big floor-standing beast.
The HIVE is all about maximum thermal mass. The HIVE Mini is already huge, holding 330 pounds of stones.
But the full HIV.
The full HIVE is for massive home saunas or commercial use, up to 18 kilowatts, holding that insane 595-pound stone load. It is the ultimate expression of their philosophy.
And then for city dwellers or tight spaces, you have the Cliff and Steel series.
Yeah, these are all about spatial efficiency. They're slim, vertical towers that require very little safety distance from the walls.
How do they do that?
Clever internal ducting. It cools the outer casing while pushing all the heat straight up, perfect for apartments.
And then there's the one for the custom builders, the core.
The core is totally modular. You can clad it in wood to match your sauna, or you can embed it right into the bench. It gives designers total freedom.
And a key point. None of these electric heaters have controls built in. You have to buy their external UKU control system.
That's right. The UKU is the brain. It handles all the power and, crucially, includes all the modern safety features like overheating protection and a door sensor.
Which is a must-have. It won't turn on if the door is open.
Exactly. But the real killer feature for most people is the connectivity.
The Wi-Fi model.
Absolutely. The UKU Wi-Fi connects to the HUUM mobile app. You can be driving home from work and preheat your sauna so it's at that perfect 230 degrees the moment you walk in the door.
And even the control panel itself is designed. You can get it in wood, glass, even a mirror finish to match the rest of your design.
The whole ecosystem is seamless.
Okay, let's switch gears. What about the traditionalists? The people who want the crackle and the smell of a real wood fire.
They did not forget them. The HIVE Wood series maintains that same high stone capacity design.
But they've added some modern efficiency to it.
They have. The HIVE heat model uses a really unique furnace. It actually creates two burning processes.
A secondary combustion? What's the benefit of that?
It ignites the wood gas before it escapes up the chimney, so you get way more heat out of less wood.
So you save on fuel, and you're not loading the stove as often?
Right, and it burns cleaner too. It actually reduces emissions, so it's more eco-friendly.
And they also have a solution for keeping the sauna itself clean, the LS models.
The long series, yeah. They have an extended firebox, so you can load the wood from an adjacent room or even from outside.
Oh, that's brilliant. No more tracking bark and dirt into your clean sauna.
And it's safer. You're not handling firewood on potentially wet floors near a hot stove door. The big LS17 can even take logs up to 22 inches long.
Of course, with any wood stove, you have to talk about safety in chimneys.
Non-negotiable. You need a proper chimney kit, whether it's through the ceiling or through the wall, and you need to make sure it's installed correctly.
All right, we've covered the whole ecosystem. Let's get to the critical analysis. How does Art Shoe really stack up against a giant like Harvia?
It's a really clear contrast. It's like art versus a workhorse.
HUM being the art.
HUM is the premium aesthetic choice. You get superior design, that much softer, higher quality steam, and the higher max temperature.
But Harvia is the workhorse for a reason. There are trade-offs.
Big time. Harvia is proven, it's reliable. They generally heat up faster because there's less stone mass to heat. And they have better budget options. HUM is a luxury product, and it's priced like one.
Okay, and this brings us to what might be the single most important piece of information for anyone thinking about buying a HUUM maintenance.
This is the main pitfall.
The sources are crystal clear. The biggest reason for early element failure is simple owner neglect.
It is. People buy this beautiful thing and think they can just set it and forget it. But over time, fine dust from the stones and a mineral scale from the water settles at the bottom of the heater.
And it creates a kind of cement.
Exactly. It forms a hard, dense layer that completely chokes off the airflow to the bottom heating elements.
So they can't cool down properly.
They can't dissipate their heat. They overheat, they warp, and they burn out. The heater slowly suffocates itself because nobody vacuumed out the base.
And I'm just picturing someone with that 600-pound HIVE. That is a serious chore.
It's a workout, but it is mandatory. So let's just walk through the annual stone service protocol.
Step 1.
Kill the power at the breaker, not just the panel, the main breaker. Let it cool down completely.
Step 2.
Take out every single stone.
All 600 pounds.
Every one. Step 3, the most important part, get a shop vac and clean out every bit of dust, grit, and crumbled stone from the base. Get it spotless.
And finally,
Inspect your stones, throw away any that are cracked or flaking, then restack the good ones loosely to ensure good airflow.
and let's put a final, very clear warning on the warranty situation here.
The heating elements are considered consumables, like tires on a car. They are wear parts and they are not covered under the warranty.
So this annual maintenance is the only thing standing between you and a big repair bill.
It is the only secret to getting that expected 3 to 5 year lifespan from your elements. You have to see it as part of the cost of ownership.
So to wrap this all up,
Yeah.
the HUM heater is really this amazing convergence of ancient ritual, modern design, and smart technology.
It transforms the sauna from a utility into a true centerpiece.
But it's not a simple appliance.
No, it's a high-performance machine, and it requires a partnership with you, the owner. It asks for that small, annual commitment of maintenance.
And in return,
In return, it gives you what is arguably the softest, most sustained, best loyalty experience on the market.
so since all those health benefits of the sauna are amplified by the negative ions you get from pouring water over the stones, the final question for you is, are you ready for the partnership and the annual commitment it takes to sustain that next level thermal experience?